Secrets of Divine Love. Ishq-e-Haqiqi in the Sufi Path. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Sufi Essence with Hamid Said. In the innermost chambers of the human soul dwells a yearning so ancient, so profound that all the pleasures of this fleeting world pale in comparison to its fulfillment, a longing to return to the beloved, to dissolve the illusion of separation and bathe in the oceanic depths of Ishq-e-Haqiqi, the true divine love. This love, veiled to the eyes of those enmeshed in the material, whispers in the hearts of mystics, saints, and seekers of truth, calling them home to the one who created love itself, not as a passion of the flesh, but as a sacred fire that consumes ego, purifies the heart, and unveils the secret reality hidden behind the veils of creation. Ishq-e-Haqiqi is not love in its mundane sense, but an annihilating force that obliterates the lower self, the nafs, and replaces it with the fragrance of the divine presence, where the lover becomes the mirror reflecting only the beloved. The Sufi path is the sacred vehicle through which this divine intoxication is actualized, a path not of scholarly abstraction, but of burning hearts, sleepless nights, and relentless remembrance, where the lover walks barefoot on the path of tears and thorns, guided not by logic but by the pulse of divine longing. In the Sufi tradition, Ishq is the essence of the entire journey. It is not a step, but the very atmosphere through which every station and state must be traversed. To speak of Ishq-e-Haqiqi is to speak of Majnun, weeping in the desert, not for Layla, but for the face of the divine hidden within Layla. It is to speak of Rumi turning in endless circles around the axis of divine attraction, Shams blazing like a sun that scorched away the veils from Rumi's heart. Ishq-e-Haqiqi is the mirror in which the soul glimpses the reflection of the divine names, the locus where the attributes of Jamal and Jalal coalesce into an unbearable radiance that either annihilates or resurrects the seeker. It is the secret behind the fire that did not burn Abraham, the source of Moses' yearning at Sinai, the light in the cave of Hira, and the reason why the Prophet Muhammad returned from Miraj not with pride but with tears, for the ecstasy of union is followed by the agony of return, to speak of that which cannot be spoken. In the Quran, Allah repeatedly expresses his love for the believers and describes those he loves, those who are humble, who repent, who purify themselves, who fight in his way. Yet the Sufi knows that these are not mere moral guidelines. They are signs for the lover on the path to becoming beloved. The lover does not seek paradise, nor fear hellfire, but seeks only the face of the beloved. In the words of Rabia al-Adawiyya, the great mystic woman of Basra, "If I worship you for fear of hell, burn me in hell. If I worship you for the reward of paradise, exclude me from paradise. But if I worship you for your own sake, do not withhold from me your eternal beauty." To enter the domain of Ishq-e-Haqiqi, the seeker must first be shattered. This is the sacred breaking, the Fanaa, where all that is not the beloved must be destroyed. Ambition, arrogance, attachment. The heart, once broken in the right way, becomes the only vessel vast enough to hold the infinite. Ishq does not coexist with the ego. It is the fire that burns it to ash. The lover, when truly consumed by Ishq, no longer perceives the self as separate, but as a wave rising from and returning to the ocean of the divine. The poetry of Sufis across ages testifies to this sacred madness. Hafiz sings of the wine that shatters reason. Adder speaks of birds who vanish in the face of the Simurgh, a symbol of God. And Bulleh Shah dances in the marketplace, whispering, "Bulleh. To me, I am not known." These are not poetic exaggerations, but the articulations of altered states of consciousness, where the boundaries of self dissolve and only the beloved remains. In such moments, the lover sees the divine not in temples or mosques alone, but in the eyes of the stranger, the silence of the forest, the laughter of children, the fragrance of flowers, the rhythm of rain. Love becomes the sacred prism through which all existence is seen not as fragmented, dual, or separate, but is unified under the light of divine mercy and love. The world, once opaque and veiled, becomes a mirror reflecting the attributes of the beloved. In this vision, there is no profanity, no ordinary. Everything becomes a sign pointing toward the real. This is the maqam of mushahada, where the lover does not merely believe in God, but sees him in all things. Here, the veil between creation and creator grows thin, and the heart weeps from both the joy of nearness and the pain of distance. The path is long, arduous, and treacherous. Not all who begin will reach, for the demands of Ishq are absolute. The seeker must sacrifice everything: reputation, security, even sanity. For Ishq is a kind of divine madness that the world does not understand. But for those who persevere, who weep in the nights and remember in the days, who carry the pain of separation, like a jewel pressed into their heart, a moment will come, a glance, a fragrance, a silence where the veil is lifted and reality unveils itself. This is the moment of Baka, when the self annihilated in love is resurrected in divine presence. The lover now becomes the vessel through which divine love flows into the world. No longer seeking God in secret corners, the lover sees him in the face of the orphan, in the tears of the oppressed, in the hands of the needy. Ishq-e-Haqiqi thus becomes the foundation for divine service, where love overflows into action, compassion, justice, and mercy. The lover becomes a flame that illuminates others, a mirror reflecting divine attributes, a servant whose every breath is Dhikr, whose every glance is mercy. And so the journey of Ishq-e-Haqiqi is never truly complete, for love has no end. It deepens, expands, refines. It purifies until nothing remains but love itself. And even then, the lover longs not for satisfaction, but for deeper longing. For it is this longing that is the proof of life, the soul's remembrance of its origin and its ultimate return. This is the divine paradox that the more one tastes union, the more one longs. The more one sees, the more one yearns. And in this endless cycle of desire and fulfillment, of annihilation and resurrection, the lover becomes the beloved, and the beloved reveals himself as the secret of love, the source of love, and the love itself. This is the secret of divine love. This is Ishq-e-Haqiqi. This is the call of the beloved, echoing in every heartbeat, awaiting the answer of the soul that dares to love beyond all measure, beyond all reason, beyond all fear, until only he remains. This is Sufi Essence, with Hamid's side. Subscribe, and let's awaken the world, one heart at a time.